Hi, I'm Neddie. The Sass was the winner of the Figment remix contest I held around March, and one of the prizes that came with winning was to make a video together. So that's what me and the Sass are doing. Today, we're gonna separately make color-based drops and combine them later. So let's see how this pans out.
Hey friends, today I'm gonna be making color-based with as little sound design as possible. I'm not a sound design guy. I'm like a music theory, kind of like melody kind of guy looking guy. So I have this pattern up here with notes in it, and I'm gonna play it for you, and it sounds like this. So yeah, we're gonna try to make something from that. A lot of times I'll start by writing out my ideas in just FL keys or just like some piano, some basic, synth up here.
Okay, so let's start by making a chord progression. Okay, let's duplicate this, and then let's make a sub bass out of this.
Let's get a supersaw going. Just lay out our chords here. Perfect. That is way too loud, but we'll fix that. Don't you worry about a thing. Maybe we can make it go wow. You know what I'm saying? Like a wow. So now we need something that goes to follow up the melody. Beautiful. Need some reverb, of course.
Okay, let's get a Vital patch, and then we'll just mess with the weird, stretching modes that Vital has. I'm thinking we just kind of, cycle through this.
Let's again make some kind of supersaw kind of thing. I usually like to layer my supersaws with a square. So I'm going to automate the detune of it a little bit, so it'll have more of an impact. Now let's do the big impact. Some kind of crazy chord. We really want that E to stand out, so let's make that into a separate synth. Maybe I should lay out some drums. I'm thinking I might want to do some kind of dong, dun 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 dun.
Okay, let's process this a little bit. Let's add a fat rack. Maybe a disperser. And let's EQ out the low end. Let's also kind of change this up a little bit. Okay, and let's add some width.
Wow, doesn't that sound fantastic? Well, good news, we're gonna resonate it! FL has a resonator, did you know that? It's in patch area, it's a preset, you guys. It's the resonator. Oh man, now we're Asora. Might want to change up the timbre a little bit with some EQ. Put some chorus on it. Wave shaper. Some OTT.
Okay, let's add a drum loop. Okay, let's duplicate this Vital patch. Okay, and let's add an arpeggiator. Ooh, that's cool. Let's also raise this an octave. Oh, that's so cool. Let's add an amp to this. Let's also lower the high end a little bit.
So check that out, I can move the notes around and it'll still play the same chord in the resonator. Now we gotta have a square wave harp, because of course we need a square wave harp, it's color based for goodness sake. I'm gonna try to emphasize the 9 chord that's really overused in color based, I think. Or at least it was at one point. I think we need some interesting reverb textures with this one. Let's grab an impulse. Yeah, why not?
And let's add a reverb and turn the sizes and decay down and then drive it all the way up. And then we'll raise the volume with a utility. Maybe we can make this faster. I think I want to disconnect this here. Let's make this do only 1 repeat.
Now we need a growly bass. OTT. Now let's add a piano. This is just a VST that came free with the MIDI keyboard I bought. And by the way, this is not what the final product is gonna sound like. I'm just kind of laying out the basic ideas, the structure of the drop.
Okay, now we gotta make a colorful kind of growl. So let's get a Vital patch. Let's again mess with the weird stretch modes. Maybe we can make this thing go kind of like this. And then we'll compress it, distort it. That's a bit too watery for my taste.
Now this whole thing is in desperate need of a sub. You remember 3x oscillator, don't you, Neddie? Dude, I can barely even hear that. Saturate it.
I think that'll work. Let's add an amp. And a fat rack. Let's put the fat rack before the amp. And let's distort this. I think this might be a little bit too aggressive. Hold on, let's not do that.
This is how we make chords interesting. There we go. Now it's a major 7. Now we need some kind of bass patch for this section. Going da-da-dum. I don't really do sound design, like, ever, but let's do it. It's just once.
Let's try to make this a little bit colorful. Let's add like a vocoder, and then let's get a pad. Put it to external and take it from the pad. Maybe we can put this an octave up. Yeah, that's cool. And let's OTT that. Ooh, that's cool. And let's add a tape stop.
This legit just sounds like somebody slapping a fish. Well, you know what you do when you can't make a good bass patch with color bass? You put a resonator on it, solves all your problems. We need this one to go tick-a-tock, so let's do the velocity trick.
Let's duplicate this. Maybe we can do like some best like 32 note things. I'm not sure I'm a fan of like how bubbly it sounds. Maybe we can add like an amp. It's a little bit too dirty, so let's kind of take out the mud. This needs like clean low end, and it does not have that. I'm just gonna draw in a sub note here.
So since sound design went so well last time, I'm just gonna use one of my own presets. And now color-based trick number 2, vocoding. So let's bring back the ARPy thing. Let's fill in the rest of this sub.
I feel like this could use a little bit more layers. So let's duplicate this. Let's mess with these settings and get like a different kind of result. Maybe over top this growl we can do like some kind of colorful synth. I'm using the word colorful a lot here. Maybe a different pad would work better for this, because I feel like this one has kind of like I feel like this one kind of goes over the root note.
Maybe we should double this with some drums. Just some really short like snares or toms or something. Yeah, something like that. Maybe we should just put more of these chords up here. Change up this. Just changing all these patterns just a little bit in the second part really makes a difference.
Let's do some sound designs to this. So this is just a square wave with some distortion and compression, and then let's add an amp and a reverb. Decay time down, size down, dry wet up. And then let's OTT that. Let's also put this up an octave. Ooh, and maybe we could do like a pitch bend where it goes like... Ooh, that's sick. Oh, that's awesome.
So now, things are about to get real. We're gonna add a lead solo. Woohoo! Okay, now mid bass time. But you can just take the bottom note from each of these chords. And now the sub, which will be almost the same as the mid bass. Now let's copy the drums over.
Okay, and now we can do some cool like chord changes in here. Alright, let's duplicate this, and then let's like extend these chords. Okay, and then let's lower the rate to 16th notes. Like that. And then let's put this to a saw wave kind of shape. Let's change these notes around a little bit.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for a Sass lead solo. That's fine. And then usually with all my lead solos, I like to automate something. So usually that'll be the sync, some vibrato, so the pitch, anything like that. For vibrato, what you can do is you can put an LFO on the fine pitch. And then you set the auxiliary source to one of your macros. So you can see it automatically has that valley texture, which is going to be perfect in the lead solo.
Alright, let's duplicate this. And let's duplicate this vital patch. And then let's change around some parameters. Let's duplicate this vital patch again. And then let's make like a lead out of this thing. Let's change around the sound design a little bit though. Let's duplicate this disperser a few times.
Sometimes you can automate the sync with an LFO, but I usually like to draw an automation curve for everything. Just so I can fine tune it to make it exactly how I want it. As for vibrato, you would normally put it on like these longer sustained notes, or on some shorter notes where you know it's going to have a good effect. So just one more time now that we've established the vibrato and the sync for this pattern. We should add an arp to this. It's feeling a little bit empty. We can actually add two kinds of arps. We can add an arp that's playing on all the 16th notes, and then we can have another one that's just like really fast, like an Amiga arp. Actually, this preset I have here is really nice because it has this LFO already set up. And what's even cooler is I have this velocity that's mapped to this point right here. So it can either play a major chord or a minor chord.
Maybe we could add like a chord stack on top of the growls, but then in like the second half. Yeah, that's better. Let's remove the snare here and then just kind of leave it on the kick.
So I think here I was gonna have it like build up to this section where it would fully unleash. So let's change up this pattern up here. Let's duplicate these chords and low pass them in. Let's do the same thing with this solo. Now we need some kind of fill. I'm thinking we bring back the snare over here. And I know, every single person in the comments is already asking. We are absolutely gonna use 805 crash cymbal huge. Alright, so I think we're pretty much done setting out all the elements for our song, so I'm just gonna mix everything and then I'll report back to all of you guys.
And now let's add like some fun samples and add this little chant. Let's also add that in. And let's add a OTT. Alright, so now I'd say it's time to combine the two tracks and take a listen to the whole thing.
And there you have it. That's my interpretation of color bass with as little sound design as possible. If you haven't already, go check out my Figment remix. It's a lot better than this. Thanks, Neddie, for having me. Be kind to each other, and see you all later.
And just like that, me and the Sass have both made some color bass. The Sass's socials will be linked in the description if you want to check them out. Let me know if you like this video with a comment down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.